Hello everyone, can you hear me? Yes, no? Can you guys hear me? Ravi, Shubham, Kaushik, Sonal. I hope I am audible to everybody. Can anybody confirm in the chat box? I hope you guys can hear me clearly and see my video as well. Can anybody confirm? Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm really sorry for some delay because there was some technical issue with the webinar getting loaded. So now we are fine. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for attending this session. It is always very difficult to actually, first of all, get up on a Sunday and be ready at 10 o'clock to learn something new is quite commendable. So thank you very much. So without going for a further delay, let me just quickly share my screen. I hope my screen is visible and you can see the Excel sheet, right? Can anybody confirm in the chat box? I hope you can see my screen, right? Yes, no? Is my screen visible to everybody? Can you confirm in the chat box? Okay, great. So once again, good morning, everyone. I am Rahul Lekhwani, a chartered accountant by profession. For those who don't know me, I am a co-founder of Data Geeksters. Our main mission is to actually transition and transform people's career who are stuck with some low paying non-IT jobs to actually transitioning their career to IT domain with the help of data analytics. So you are part of one of the free webinars that we have on a weekly basis. So today's webinar is going to be very interesting, and this is something that is used by each and every professional in today's world, that is MS Excel. Right now you might have learned a lot of formulas till date related to VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and some FS. There are a lot of formulas that you might already be knowing, but today what we are going to discuss is something different. These are some of the new formulas that have come in Office 365. So Office 365, if you people are not aware of it, Office 365 is the complete package, a licensed package, which is actually given by the MS. It is a part of the MS Office, right? So it is called MS Office 365. That means all the new age formulas, all the new age different ways of doing analysis have actually come with the license. So many of you might be using some older version, some pirated MS Offices. So these new formulas might not work into it, but as far as the official work is concerned, 99% of the offices have licensed Office 365, right? So you might not be having it in your personal laptop, but definitely you might be having it in your professional laptop. That is the office laptop. Second thing, if you don't have it, okay, I would suggest you to get one. Okay, so if you see the pricing, if I show you quickly the pricing, how the pricing works. So office you want to buy, right? So I think somewhere around 6 what the price is, if I am not wrong. So in 6,000 buy 6 licenses. So if you are a group of people, okay, for an year, okay, so if you are a group of people of 5-6, you can collaborate and you can buy. Okay, so if you see here, so Microsoft is 140 per month, then business standard is 770. Okay, this is what I am suggesting you guys to buy. Okay, what will happen is that if you buy this license, you will be getting the new age formulas, okay, which are very much easier than what we used to use in the older versions, right? Now there is nothing new that happens with these formulas. It is just that the writing it becomes quite easy, and it becomes really who are very new to the tool to actually analyze the data well. So let us just understand what is the agenda for the today's session. So first is we are going to see what are various data handling techniques with the help of new formulas that we can do in MS Office 365. Then advanced functions, what are the advanced functions that have come and which are very easy to use and which can actually reduce our time to maybe less than half. So if you are taking if you are taking maybe 2 hours to analyze the data, with these formulas you will be able to do it in approximately 45 minutes to 1 hour. And that is the first time that I'm talking about. When you get familiar of it, then it becomes more quick. Then text management is also one of the things that we are going to see. There are various kind of ways through which you can actually transform your text in Excel so that you can use it for your benefit. Then date and time function, again very important function, and there are a lot of errors that people come across when we talk about date time functions. Okay, so there are logs that are created. There are a lot of different kind of permutation combination of reports that can be created with the help of this date time and other functions. Okay, and then lastly we'll see how to actually get data from PDF or from a website. So sometimes what happens is that we need to analyze some data which is there in the website. Now it is easier if you get the data in Excel and analyze it rather than doing it with any other tool. So Office 365 again gives you one more option of actually uploading your data. It may be in various form. It may be in the form of text. It may be in the form of PDF. You can actually upload it and you can get the data from there. Okay, so let me just pause here and quickly get a confirmation from you. I hope the agenda for today is clear, and I would request you to stay till the end of the session, because the session in this session I can guarantee you that you will be able to learn some of the formulas which you have never learned before. So I would request you to actually be till the end of the session so that you can gain all the information, and the Sunday that you are spending, that 1 hour that you are spending with us becomes fruitful. I hope the agenda is clear. Everybody is clear with that. If you can just confirm on the chat, yes, no. Can anybody confirm in the chat? And hope you can hear me and you can watch my screen also. Okay, great. Okay, great. Let me just quickly share my screen again. Now let us go one by one. We have plenty of formulas, and I would try my best to actually complete most of them in the today's session. Right. First is spilled array. Okay. So till date, what we used to do is that if you want to get some data referenced, okay. So for example, if I want to reference this division, okay. So what is referencing? Referencing is nothing but linking one cell with other. So if I want to reference, I'll reference it like this, and then I can copy paste it for all the cells. So this many of you might have already done. Okay, so this is called single cell referencing. Now, if I want to repeat it for other columns also, I need to actually copy this formula, okay, and paste it to other cells, and that's how I am going to get the reference. Okay, this is one of the way of getting the referencing. Okay, so if I change the source data, why do we do the referencing? If I change something in the source data, my reference data will also get updated accordingly. So this is called single cell referencing. But with the help of new formulas, we can actually do a referencing without doing so much of copy paste. We can directly reference the data based on the base data. So this is our base data, and we are going to create let me just create here. So this is base data, and I'm going to create a reference data. Now, I don't need to actually do a one-to-one linking, which I used to do, or which I just did in this single cell referencing. I can actually put a formula in a single cell. I can actually put a formula in a single cell, and the entire list will come in front of me. How? It is very simple. Just the same is equals to start our formula and just give the range of the entire data. So in a single cell, okay, in a single cell, let me just take this data only. So in a single cell, what I'm trying to do is that I am just, instead of actually copy pasting a single reference, then copy pasting it to various columns, what I am doing, I am just putting an is equals to and actually taking a range. Okay, so I'm taking the range of cells that I want to be referenced. So see, my reference data is ready with a single click. And now if you see, if I go to this data, there is a blue line that is coming in. So what it is showing me, it is showing me that if I delete this cell, my data will be gone, right? So this data is actually referenced with this cell. So this cell becomes my formula cell. Okay, but in this case, if you see in my single cell referencing, if I delete this, nothing is going to happen because these are independent. This data is independent to this cell, but in referenced data, my entire formula is actually in a single cell. Okay, that is one of the reason why there is a blue line box that is coming in. So what it is showing me, it is showing me that this data, see, if you go in this data, you cannot do anything. Okay, so see, it is blur, but this is active. That means all the other data fields are dependent on this single cell where the formula has been written. Okay, so what is the benefit of referencing? So if I am removing something from the base data, my reference data will also get updated, right? This is a new way of referencing where instead of going for a cell to cell referencing, okay, instead of going for a cell to cell referencing like this, we can actually reference the entire data. And entire data means whatever the columns that are there, whatever columns that are there in the data will get referenced, right? Is it clear? If I could get a quick confirmation from you guys, is it clear? Yes, no? So this is one of the ways of referencing in in new age scenarios. Okay, I hope I am clear with the first thing. Okay, so let me just quickly share my screen again. I hope my screen is visible again. Now this is called as spilled array, or you can actually remember it as a referencing. Okay, so spilled array is not a formula actually, it is just a function that we can use in Excel. Now similar to this, there is an option of filter. Okay, now if I take this data, okay, so if I want to filter a particular field, till date what we used to do, we used to go into the column and we used to filter. For example, if I want to filter game, so that game data all the data related to game division will be filtered, right? If I want to filter productivity, I can filter it like this. So this was the filter till date. Okay, this was the filter till date that we used to use. See, the problem with this filter is this is passive. This is not dynamic. So what is the meaning of passive filtering and dynamic filtering? Let me just show you. Okay, so this I'll call it as passive filtering, which we all do, which we all know how to do. But how can I do a dynamic filtering? What is that? Dynamic filtering means if I only change the name of the division, the entire data should get filtered. Okay, the entire data should get filtered. Now there are 2-3 ways to do it. Okay, one of the ways is to create a slicer. Okay, how to create a slicer? Again, a very important option that is available. But first of all, you have to understand the difference between a table and an array. Okay, right now whatever you are seeing, it is not a table, it is an array. Though we call it a table, but it is not a table as per MS Excel. Okay, so if this is an array, I need to convert it into a table. Okay, I need to convert it into a table. How can I convert an array into a table? Just click on the data, just put Control T. So see, it is showing me create a table, and it has actually taken the range. So I'll click on OK. So see, now if you see, the colors have changed, now everything has changed, and now this is a table. Okay, so always remember, whenever you are going to create a slicer, okay, whenever you are going to create a slicer, you have to actually change the data into a table. Until unless you change the data into a table, slicer will not be created. Okay, so now this is a table, right? Now if I am going to select this data, table, and go into insert, so there's an option of slicer. Now the slicer option will only work if you have a table selected. Okay, if you don't select a table, then slicer option will not be available. So I have selected the table, and I have actually transferred array to table, and then I am creating a slicer. Now I'll click on slicer. Now see, it is giving me 3 options. What slicer do you want to create? On what basis do you want to create a slicer? I can create a slicer based on division and region. Okay, so I want to have a slicer where I can actually filter the data either based on division or based on region. Okay, so I'll click on OK. So see, there are 2 boxes that have come. Now these, how this can help us. Okay, how this can help us is to filter our data effectively. Instead of going again and again into this array and filtering the data, I can just click. So if I want to see the productivity data, I'll just click on productivity, and all the data related to productivity can be filtered. Now the best part about this slicer is, if you create division and region wise slicer, now under productivity also, if you want to see only North America, you just have to click North America, and productivity North America will get filtered. And if you want to remove the filter, you can just click here and you can remove the filters. Now this is the new way of filtering the data. So when you are filtering it for your own purpose, that is fine. But when you are actually giving this report to somebody who can actually mix and match the things, then it is better to give a slicer. Okay, aesthetically it also looks good, and there is a lot of manual work that is avoided. Plus, if somebody doesn't know how to filter the data in Excel, okay, with the help of these filters, he can actually click and get his data. So this can be called as a dynamic way of filtering your data. Clear? So this is one of the way of filtering a data. Now let us understand one more way. Okay, let us understand one more way. Let me just copy this and paste it here. Now the same data I have pasted here. Now supposing if I don't want to create a table, I don't want to create a slicer, is there any way which can help me create a dynamic filter? Yes, there's an option called filter itself. Okay, there's an option called filter in new version of Office 365. That is the licensed version I'm talking about. So this is what I'm going to call it as dynamic filter. Okay, so now what is dynamic filtering? Here I am not going to use slicer, which I did in the last example. This time I am going to only use a cell, a single cell. In that cell, if I actually select something, then the entire data will get filtered based on that. Okay, so for example, I want to get my data filtered based on, say, productivity. So you have to make sure that whatever spelling that is there here, the same spelling should be written here, otherwise your filter will not happen. Now this is my cell on the basis of which I need to filter my data. Now all I need to do is that I need to create a formula here, which is equals to filter with the same name. So if you see, there is a same name formula that is available. I'll just click on filter. Now see, in Excel there are many of the formulas where you don't have to by heart the formulas. You have to just understand the basics, right? What is array, what is table. Okay, so in this case I have array. Okay, I don't have a table. Okay, so it is asking me to select an array. So this is my entire array, that is the entire database that I'm going to select. Okay, so this is my entire array, and this will get filtered based on productivity. This will get filtered based on productivity. Now I'll press comma. Now it is asking me include. That means now it is asking me what is the criteria. On what criteria do you want to filter your data? Because you have given only the entire database link, that is the array. Now in the next step, you need to put some condition. Okay, so what is the condition? The condition is the division should be productivity. Okay, so I'll select only the division column. I'm going to select only the division column as a data. Now this should be is equals to this. So what I'm trying to do, I am trying to reference this H21, okay, with the criteria, so that I can get the filtered data based on productivity, right? So in first part, I have actually selected the entire data from which I want to filter. Second is I have actually selected the column, okay, from which the criteria has to come, and then I have actually put a is equals to. That means if this column is equals to productivity, then only the filter the data, then comma, and then 0. That's it. Just a second, it is getting. Okay. Let me just change it a bit. Yeah, I have done some spelling mistake. Okay, can you see this now? Now why am I calling it as a dynamic? Okay, why I'm calling this as dynamic? Because if I change it, my data will be filtered based on that criteria. Again, this is a cell referenced. Can you see this? You cannot do anything. This is reference to this utility, this first cell, the same way we saw in referencing. So in new age formulas, wherever you can see the referencing, this is actually referenced with the first cell, that is this cell, and here the data is coming from this H21. Okay, now in H21, whatever you are going to write, you are going to get the data. Okay, this is called dynamic filtering. Okay, now why we are using dynamic filtering when we have slicer? So see, slicer has its own limitation. Why? Because the data will get filtered in the same base data. So many a times in data analytics, if you know, we are not going to use the base data again and again. We just extract the data. So base data can be huge. Okay, we are not going to use the base data. So we extract the data from that database and try to analyze it. Okay, this function allows me to extract the data, because this is my base data. Base data is not getting touched at all. What is getting extracted is the relevant data. Okay, in this way you can actually dynamically filter the data, right? So this is what we call dynamic filtering. You can just change it like this. Okay, Now, many of you might be thinking that maybe, if there might be a possibility that we might mistake in terms of writing the spelling and everything. Okay, so what we can do is we can actually create a data validation here. Okay, so instead of actually instead of me selecting or writing the name again and again, I can create a drop down here. Okay, so this functionality can be used when you are going to do it on a regular basis. So if you have a report in which you have to filter again and again data and send it to 10 people, you can do it with the help of this formula, and here you can create a validation. Okay, how to create a data validation? You have to just go into data. Here there's an option of data validation. Just click on data validation and see, right now it is showing me any value. So I'll just select and put it under list. So what list is it asking me? So I want this cell to come from this list. So I'll just select this range. This becomes my list. Okay, and I'll press OK. So see, this drop down has been created. Now if I want this division to be removed, I can remove it, but right now I can just select this drop down and get my data filtered. This is how you have to filter your data in dynamic way. I'll just take a pause here. I hope everybody has been able to follow it. Just a second. Yes, are you with me, guys? Have you been able to follow it? Yes, no? So the again and again I am telling you the same thing. The only thing is, okay, you should have Office 365. Okay, when you have Office 365, then you have plenty of formulas that are available. Okay, and it is very easy to actually use these formulas, right? Are we good? Shall we go ahead? I want to cover as many formulas as I can, okay, in today's session. So if if I can get a go ahead, so that I can show you some other formulas. Yes, no? May I go ahead? Yes, no? Okay, great. Let me just quickly share my screen. Now, many of you might have used a formula called VLOOKUP. Okay, a formula called VLOOKUP, most of you might have used. Now, in VLOOKUP, there is, yeah. So in VLOOKUP, let me just remove this data so that I can show you how it works. Just a second. Okay, so this is my final data. Okay, this is my final data which I want. So I have employee names and its ID. Okay, now I want to see that how many employees have actually done the, or what I know, what is this employee wise sales number, because I need to give them commission. Okay, now in this scenario, I don't know the sales, I don't know the commission percentage, and I don't know the commission amount that I need to pay. Now I have some source data. So this is my source data where employee ID, employee name, and sales is there. Okay, and there's one more data that is a criteria. So I have a criteria tab, okay, which is giving me on the basis of what criteria they'll get the commission. So here I need two things. First is the sales number, and second is your commission percentage. Okay, now there are plenty of ways of doing it. One is VLOOKUP. Okay, but through VLOOKUP we can have some limitations of actually selecting the range again and again. So if I show you a VLOOKUP, so if I get the sales data with VLOOKUP, let me just put a VLOOKUP formula. So I'll just put a VLOOKUP. Lookup value will be my ID. comma, space, table array. From what table do I want to look up? So I want to look up from this table. Okay. So from this table, third column I need to look up. So I'll just first freeze it, put 3, comma, exact match. So in this way, I can get the sales number. So Sumit has 159,334 sales, which is matching with this database. Okay, this is one of the way of putting the formula. This is an old school way of putting the formula. Now we have a very dynamic kind of formula that is called XLOOKUP. Okay, so how XLOOKUP is different from VLOOKUP is, so in VLOOKUP you have to select the range, okay, and then you have to put manually something column range. So if you see manually, you have to put a column number. So whether it is a third column, whether it is a fourth column, which column data you want to have. Okay, but in XLOOKUP, these manual interventions can be avoided. Let us see how this XLOOKUP works. Again, this is in under licensed version. So in your pirated version, you might not be able to find it. I'll just press is equals to XLOOKUP. Okay. So XLOOKUP, by its name, there is a formula that has been there. So see, the best part about this formula is everything is written here. What you have to select, everything is clearly written here, right? So first is lookup value. So just like in VLOOKUP, I am going to have a lookup value. Okay, I am going to have a lookup value, which is ID. Okay, so based on ID, I need to get the data from these columns. Okay, comma, lookup array. Okay, so ID is in this column. Okay, so instead of selecting the entire database, I am going to just select this column. So my lookup value comes from this, and I am going to press F4 so that I can freeze these cells. Right now, first was my lookup ID, second was my lookup array. Okay, so lookup array I have put, comma, return array. What return do I want? What return value do I want? So my return value is sales. I want to have sales. I'll just press F4, comma, if not found. So what the system should return if the value, so for example, you are looking for some ID which is not available in the database. So what response do you want? Okay, so it can be 0, it can be NA, whatever you want to put it. Let me put 0. So if the data is not there, just give me 0. That's it. So see, exactly the same kind of output I am getting, but without having a manual column writing. So column number and nothing I have to write in XLOOKUP. Okay, that's why it is dynamic, because here I can just completely select the range, and my data will be getting fetched. Okay, so I'll just copy and paste it. So this is how I can use XLOOKUP to look up my data, just like we do in VLOOKUP. So in VLOOKUP, the manual, writing the column number and everything becomes a tedious task. So that can be avoided with the help of XLOOKUP. Now, is it the only way, or is it the only method through which I can use the XLOOKUP? No, XLOOKUP is very, very powerful. Okay. Now pay attention. I have a criteria. So my commission amount will come based on my criteria. Okay. So criteria is, if the sales is above 4 lakh, my commission amount will be 25%. If my sale is between 2 lakh to 4 lakh, my commission amount will be 15%. If the sale is between 0 to 2 lakh, my commission amount will be 5%. Right? Now, this kind of complex calculation can be solved with the help of if function. Okay, but if functions are very, very long to write. So if I show you, if you see here, so see, this is the kind of if function that you need to put to satisfy this condition. Okay, and this can be very, very complicated for a lot of us. Okay, this can be very, very complicated for a lot of us, right? So is there any easy way of doing these kind of calculation? Yes, the answer is XLOOKUP. Okay, so with XLOOKUP, you will be able to actually calculate the percentage of, or the tag the commission based on sales. Okay, let us see. I'll just put XLOOKUP. Now in this case, the lookup value will be this, because I want to actually analyze. Whether this amount is, or I should say, I want to analyze this amount comes from which batch, whether it is above 4 lakh, 2 to 4 lakh, or 0 to 2 lakh. Okay, so that's why I'm putting a lookup value like this, comma, lookup array. Okay, this value has to come from not this, from this. Why? Let me just explain you first. See, Excel will not be we will not be able to recognize this column as a text, or sorry, as a value. Okay, because here you have actually, this is alphanumeric. Okay, it has alphabets and numeric. Okay, so before even putting XLOOKUP formula, what you need to do is you need to actually write a lower limit here in values. Okay, so this is very important to keep this formula work. So if it is above 4 lakh, that means the base value will be 4 lakh. If it is 2 to 4 lakh, so my base value will be 2 lakh. If it is 0 to 2 lakh, so my base value will be 0. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to put the base value of the range. So for example, it is 0 to 2 lakh. Okay, 2 lakh to 4 lakh and 4 lakh above, right? This is our condition. So this becomes my lower limit. And this becomes my upper limit. So what I need to do, if I need to use XLOOKUP formula, I need to put lower limits in a single column so that I can reference it using XLOOKUP. Okay, so let us just, so I have already put, so if it is above 4 lakh, the base value is 4 lakh. If it is 2 to 4, the base value will be 2 lakh. And if it is 0 to 2 lakh, so the base value will be 0, right? Now, let me just put XLOOKUP formula, comma, lookup array. So this value will be compared not with this column, but with this column, the new column that we have created. Okay, press F4, comma, return array. So if the criteria gets fulfilled, what should be the return? So the return would be commission percentage, comma. Now, if not found, okay, if not found, let us put 0, comma. Now see, this is the best part. Right now in my formula, I have, so if you see in my earlier formula, it was exact match. So everything was 0, 0. Now in this case, I cannot do an exact match because 159,334 is not available in this range. Okay, 159,334 is not exactly available in this column because this is a range. This is not a value. So here, instead of doing an exact match, I am going to do exact match on next smaller item. I am going to do exact match or next smaller item. That means if it is less than 4 lakh, then it automatically will go into 15%. Let me just put it like this. That is -1, bracket close. Now see, 159 is between 0 to 2 lakh. So 5% is getting deflected. So let me just copy paste it. 127,502 comes under 0 to 2 lakh. So 5%. 4 lakh and above. Okay, what criteria did we put? For 4 lakh and above, the criteria was 25%. So 25% is coming, right? So if I change the amount here, my percentage will also change based on this commission. And the best part about these formulas is you have to only put it once. Then you have to just copy paste the data and get your result. Now it becomes easy. I'll just multiply these things and I'll get the commission amount that I need to pay to the employees. Okay, this is one of the best way or one of the best method with which you can actually automate your formulas. Okay, instead of writing multiple if condition, I showed you this condition, right? So instead of writing multiple if condition, not this one, this one. So if instead of writing multiple if condition, which can be quite confusing, we can use a smaller formula like this. Okay, a smaller formula. Why smaller? Because only few things are you need to get selected, and your data will be ready. And this calculation, I'll tell you, almost everybody in almost every organization these days, these calculations are used. Right? Let me just take a pause here. I hope till now whatever I have explained you, it is very, very clear. Okay, I am giving you some of the new age formulas, okay, that are available, which can make our life quite easier. So if somebody doesn't know VLOOKUP, okay, if he doesn't know VLOOKUP, then also he has an option today to actually use these formulas. Are you guys with me? Shall we go ahead? Yes, no? Can I get a quick confirmation on the chat? Okay, great. Let me just reshare my screen. Now, one more very important formula, that is IFS. Okay. Now, many of you might have already used if condition, right? If condition you might have used. Now, what is IFS? So the problem with if condition that was there is you need to actually write the formula again and again. So if you see here, so in if condition you have to write multiple if. So if this condition gets satisfied, then this output, again if, then this condition satisfied, then the output is this. So the number of conditions that you have to add if condition, which is called nested if. Okay, nested if means if condition under another if condition. Okay, so actually this MS Office have come up with a new formula which can help you only put if condition once. Then you have to just put your criteria. This is one of the best thing. Okay, I'll just show you how it works. It is very, very, let us do a comparison also. Okay, one is if condition, that is nested if, which we are going to use. Okay, and if IFS, that is the new formula that is there. I'll just show you the comparison and how easy this formula is. I'll just show you. For example, my revenue is, if it is, let me just let me just reduce the condition so that it can be easily easily accessible to you. So if it is above 8 lakh, then A. Okay, let me just change it to, if it is above 5 lakh, then B, and if it is less than 5 lakh, okay, it will be C. Right? Let us take this criteria. Okay, so I need to put grading system. I need to put the grades based on the based on this revenue. Okay, let me first just show you a simple if formula, nested if. Sorry. Okay, so let me just show you the simple formula, and then we'll see what is this IFS is all about. So I'll put a simple if condition. If this is greater than 8 lakh, then the grade should be A. Now, what if this condition doesn't satisfy? I need to put one more if bracket. What is the logical test? Again, the same logical test. If this is greater than 5 lakh, then my grade should be B, comma. Now, if both the conditions are not satisfied, then my answer should be C. Okay, so I'll just straight away write my answer C. Now see, my grades have been done. Okay, now my grades have been done with the help of if function. But the problem is I don't want to write this if conditions again and again, because the conditions can be many. It can be more than 3, it can be more than 6, it can be more than 10 also. So what if I have a lot of conditions and I don't want to create this repetitive formula? So see, again and again I am writing the same formula. So this part I am writing again and again to judge a single condition. So Microsoft have come up with a new formula which is called IFS. Okay, let me just put is equals to IFS. So IFS is a formula which is a substitute of nested if. So it is a simpler version of if condition. So I'll just put IFS. What is the logical test? So logical test is this is greater than. So see, logical test 1. So there can be many logical tests here. Okay. So if C4 is greater than 8 lakh, then my grade should be A, comma. Now I don't need to write one more if condition. I can simply write the criteria again. So for example, C4 is greater than 5 lakh, then my result should be what? My result should be B, comma. Now if both the conditions are not getting satisfied, the output should be C. Let me just see what is there. C4 is less than 5 lakh. Okay, then let's put C. Now see, here I have put all the 3 conditions. Okay, but the only thing is that I don't have to use if condition again and again. I don't want to use if formula again and again. But the output, if you see, the output is coming exactly the same. That means the output that is this formula is giving, it is exactly the same as what I wanted. Okay, this is one of the best ways of actually doing your if condition based on certain various kind of condition, right? So this IFS is again a very, very important formula that you should know. It can help you avoid that confusion of again and again, closing the bracket, opening the bracket, putting the if condition. That can be avoided, and here you can add as many conditions as you can. Okay, so in real life scenario I have to put maybe 10 conditions. Okay, so howsoever complexities that might be there, you can actually use this IFS or IFS formula for your advantage. Okay, let me just take a pause here. I hope the formula is clear, right? So the formula is clear. So these formulas were very, very important. One of the most important formulas, that I think is there in today's day and age. Now, we are running short of time. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just show you how to upload data from text or PDFs. Okay, so that you can actually upload some data which is there in PDF into Excel. Again, this function is also available only when you have Office 365. It will not be available if you have some pirated version. It may or it may not be available, but in Office 365 it is available. So let me just find out a PDF document and I'll show you how you can get the data from PDF. Just a second. Just a second, guys. I'll come back. Okay, let me just share my screen. Let me just quickly share my screen again. Now see, I have a file, or let me just share the entire screen so that you can see the file also. Let me just share the entire screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible now. So if I show you, I have a file called table. Okay, so this is just for example. So see, this is a PDF file. It has a table. Okay, it has a table. Now, for example, if I want this data in Excel, one way is to copy paste this and put it in Excel, but it doesn't work like that. Okay, it doesn't give you the proper formatted version of this PDF. Okay, so I want exactly this format. Okay, exact this format, exact this value in Excel. Okay, how can I do that? First is I can manually type everything, but if there are 1000 line items, then you cannot type them. Okay, then you need to use some of the other ways to convert that data into Excel. So right now the data is in PDF. The name is table.pdf. Let me just close it and let me just quickly go into Excel. I have created a new sheet. Now in Excel, there's an option of get data. Okay, so under data, you have an option of get data. So if you click on get data, you have from file option. So see, plenty of options that are available. So you can get data from Excel, you can get data from text, JSON, PDF. There are a lot of options. Okay, so in my case, I need to get the data from PDF. So I'll just click on from PDF. Okay, now from PDF, it is asking me to select the PDF. So I have this table which I showed you. This file is there. I'll just import. Okay, now see, the data is getting connected. Okay, now see, it is giving me two options, table 1 and page 1. Okay, can you see this? Table 1 and page 1, right? So if I only want to have the data which is there in the table, I'll just click on this table and there's an option of load. I'll just load the data. So see, the exact data, if I show you in the PDF, see, blind, low vision, dexterity, mobility, same data has been received and in the same fashion. Okay, so see, if you compare both of them, you'll find that exact data has been copied. Now if you don't want, you can just convert it into, this is a table format. Okay, so you have to convert it into range. Okay, so now it is converted into range. Now whatever the extra columns that are there, you can just remove it and you can actually make it as if it was from the PDF only. Okay, so in this way you can easily upload your PDF data into Excel, and this is one of the most powerful option. Get data is a very powerful option. It has an option of get web also. Let me just show you get web also. So for example, I go into Screener. Okay, Screener is a website in which you can actually analyze any stock. So for example, I'll just write Tata Motors. So under Tata Motors, I have this all the analysis that is there. But the problem is it gives me an option of to export to Excel, but this is a paid version. Okay, so you have to sign in, you have to pay, and then only you will get the data. So what if I want this data? For example, I want this data, peer comparison, or I want profit and loss, quarterly result in my Excel. How can I do that? I can simply copy this link and go into Excel. Under get data, there's an option of from web. Okay, so here I just need to paste that link and press OK. So this is creating a connection with that website. So data is getting fetched from that website. Okay, and the best part about this is live. Okay, whatever is the data that is live in the website, you can see so many tables are there. Table 1, 2, 3. So for example, I wanted to have this one. right? That is sales analysis. I'll just click on this and I'll put load data. Exactly in the exact format, see, the data will come. Now it becomes easy for me to analyze the data, convert to range. Now it becomes easy for me to analyze the data in Excel. Okay, I can analyze the data, I can create charts based on my requirement. So this is one of the major feature of the licensed version that the Excel has. Okay, so let me just take a pause. Okay, so it's already 11. Thank you very much, guys, for attending this session. I hope this 1 hour, I would have made justice to this 1 hour that you have spent with me. Thank you very much for attending the session till the very end. I can see a lot of people are there, stick to the session since the beginning. Thank you very much, guys. Hopefully I might have been able to add some value to your life with this one hour. So usually, though we say that it is a free webinar, it is not a free webinar. Actually, you are actually spending 1 hour on a weekend to learn something new. So I hope I might have done justice to it. So thank you very much, guys, for attending the session. And just one thing. So we have our YouTube channel that is there. Okay. With the name Data Geeksters. Okay, so you can just visit to that channel. I am just putting the name. Okay, so there you will find all the recordings, the sessions that we do, all the previous session recordings are available there. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out. There are a lot of videos that related to Excel, okay, Power BI, Tableau. So you can check it out and subscribe it if you want to get notified whenever there are some new free videos that are going to come. So the ultimate goal of Data Geeksters is to create a community, okay, of learners, so that we can actually interact with each other, we can learn from each other also, and to form a community, okay, so that we can learn on a regular basis. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, and yeah, that's it. So stay tuned for our next session. Okay, so next week also we will be having on the same. So we have webinars, free webinars on the same timing, that is 10 to 11 on Sundays without a fail. There is a free webinar that happens. So please stay in touch, and we'll be sending you the notification for the new upcoming webinars. So thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye. Have a good weekend, a long weekend.